There's something that you said in our conversation earlier about the through line and how that ties so much into strategy. Can you share your perspective on that and what that means to you in your work?
The through line as far as
the strategy, the through line to the work, like, so from strategy all the way to, I guess, execution. When you talked about.
So I think for me, it's understanding like the core of what we're actually trying to do first. What are we trying to do? And dissecting that to a point where I can understand like, all right, well, what's the real heart of the story? Like, what's the why within all of it? Translating that into a narrative. And I think one thing that often gets lost within strategy is it's like, once we figure out what our story is because of our problem and all those things, we create this beautiful deck and we brief in creatives. And then we're like, ta-da, our job's done. You know what I mean? Like, call me if you get lost. And I think a really great strategist, you know, you're a good strategist when your creative team comes back down the stairs to you and they come to your desk and they're like, hey, look, we're thinking about this idea, but what do you think? Like, is this actually aligning with the strategy? The question, is this actually aligning with the strategy, is sometimes a question you'll never hear from a creative team if they don't trust you. Because like, they're just going off into their own land, making these dope ideas. And it's like, can we backtrace and like try to make the strategy fit into this? That's like never the way. It's more so like, how can strategy partner with creative to make sure that like that strategy comes to life in their ideas and you can see it clearly, but also in a way where you're not putting handcuffs on the creatives, making them feel like they're chained to this one singular thought, like being flexible. And then, of course, all the way into production, like whether it's an event, making sure that the story that you're trying to tell is still alive and well in the end execution. I think that's just like the beautiful through line of strategy from the beginning to the end. That's
so beautiful. You said something that doesn't come up often. Creatives coming back and asking, hey, does this align with the strategy? That doesn't happen a lot either. But I think what I gathered from that, and correct me if I'm wrong, is you've built a layer of trust there, right?
Yeah, I feel like people take business way too seriously. You know what I mean? First of all, I feel like business is like relationships. Like, the way that you would treat a friend is the same way that you should treat the people that you have to work with and see more than you even see your friends. You know, like, so I take my creatives out to lunch. Like, I just like pop up at their desk randomly with chips, like, and chat. But like, all
Food
of
goes
those,
a long way.
Always. Like, all of those small informal things, like, always add up. So like, my biggest thing is like, if we're gonna fall on the sword, I just want to fall on the sword together. Like, if we're presenting a deck and it gets to a certain part in the creative presentation where the client's like, no, this doesn't really make any sense. I want to be able to feel like he doesn't have to fall by himself on that sword. My creative's like, no, I'm going to step in. I'm going to give my POV too. And we're going to, if it dies, cool. But like, it's not all on this one person. All the weight isn't on this one person. And I want to feel the same way about my strategy. Like, if we get to a point and client's like, you don't want to be the only one, like, no, it works, I promise. You know, like, you want to feel supported
as a team.
And I feel like the only way to do that is to like take our ties off sometimes and just be normal people and build relationships just like you would build them anywhere else.
That's so good.